Hi, this is Jeff Langell, and I'm here today to talk to you about how to take a great photograph by following a few simple steps that will ensure that your pictures come out wonderful. One of the first things you want to do is to be sure to be familiar with your equipment. When you have a camera and you first purchase it, read through the manual thoroughly. You want to be able to be comfortable with the camera in any situation and not have to fumble around trying to find the certain functions that you want for each type of scene that you'll be shooting. One of the things that makes a great photograph is the composition. One way to work and make sure getting a good composition is to frame up the scene before shooting the photograph. I'm sure you've seen people hold their hands up like this, and they're really using their fingers to be like a viewfinder so that they can square up the scene and see how it's going to look. So you can do that as well. Try different angles, and then take your camera, looking through the viewfinder, try squatting down, try from above, try from the side, zoom in, zoom out until you find that perfect squared photo that you're looking for. Poor composition tends to be when there's too much space in the background. You'll notice in this example that there's too much space above their heads and on the left side of the image. Good composition, you really want to zoom in on your subject so that you eliminate extra space, and your subject then becomes the main focus of your composition. One way to ensure a good composition is something called the thirds theory. How this works is the image is broken into thirds. 1/3 background, 1/3 subject, and 1/3 foreground, as shown in the example. This can be done diagonally, vertically as well. The eye is drawn to art and images that are set up this way. It tends to be something that people, when they see an image and go, wow, that's a great piece of art, or that's a great photograph, is the thirds theory has been used. Another area that you want to focus on when you're setting up a good picture and knowing all your equipment is exposure. Overexposure is when too much light is coming through the lens, and it can cause the image to look washed out or white. Underexposure is when not enough light has come through the lens, and you'll end up with a darker picture. And this can just lead to a lot of unhappy results when you're shooting photographs. Most cameras, especially digital cameras these days, have an auto function on them that will automatically set the exposure and shutter speed of your camera. This is probably best to use if you are not sure about aperture, film speed, shutter speed. You'll most likely get a good photograph. Another thing to remember is when shooting indoors to make sure you have your flash activated or shooting at night. Here you can see an even exposure where an auto setting was used. You have a nice even exposure all through the picture. The picture is also divided into thirds. You can see the foreground is a third, even on this angle. The subject matter in the center is 1/3, and the background is 1/3. One thing that you want to get across in images is image should tell a story or evoke emotions when you look at it. Sometimes we've all looked back at photo albums of great times that we've had, and it makes us laugh, or it can make us sad and miss somebody because the image evokes these feelings in us, or they tell a story. People will look at photographs and tell the story of how that picture was taken or how the photograph came to be. And these are the kind of things that help make up great photographs. So if you follow these simple steps, you will ensure to take a great photograph, and your responses will go from just nice picture to wow, that's a great photograph. So have fun taking pictures.